There are over 171 woody plants that call Missouri's woodlands home. Relax. There won't be a quiz at the end of this session. Our goal here is to introduce you to the major groups. Plant taxonomists call these groups genera. Normal people call them by their common names: oaks, hickories, maples, and so on. We will highlight the major characteristics of each group. As you become more familiar with the trees in your woodland, you'll begin to be able to tell the difference between individual species. Let's start by using our acronym MAD-BUCK. All trees we come across in the woods that exhibit alternate arrangement will be a maple, ash, dogwood, or buckeye. With one exception, leaves in the maple group are simple, 3 to 5 lobed, and borne on long stalks. The fruit is a samara, and they are typically single seeds paired on a stalk. But kids of all ages simply call them helicopters. Twigs can be slender or stout and range in color from red to orange-brown. Young bark is generally smooth, and as a tree gets older, it breaks up into long, irregular, thick ridges, sometimes even scaly. Leaves in the ash group are compound, with an odd number of leaflets. The fruit is again a samara, this time borne in clusters. The individual seed resembles a paddle. Twigs are stout. The bark is gray with many close ridges crossing to form a diamond pattern. Dogwoods are also oppositely arranged. The leaves are simple with fine-toothed edges. The vein pattern in the leaves is arcuate, meaning that as the vein approaches the edge of the leaf, it curves toward the leaf tip in an arc. The fruit may either be a red or white berry-like drupe. Twigs are slender. On those individuals of large enough size, the bark is broken into square or round blocky scales. Our last oppositely arranged group is the buckeye. The leaf is compound with 5 regularly toothed leaflets. The fruit is a round capsule bearing 1 to 3 nuts. Twigs are very stout. The bark is ashy to dark gray, furrowed, broken into large scaly blocks on old trees. Now let us turn our attention to the other groups of trees commonly found in our woodlands. These groups all have alternate arrangement. I'm speaking about the oaks, hickories, and elms. The oak leaf is simple, and the edges can be lobed, coarsely toothed, or smooth. The fruit is the familiar acorn. Twigs can range from slender to stout, depending upon the particular species. But the easy clue for knowing you are looking at an oak is the cluster of buds at the end of the twig. The bark pattern is varied. Oaks can further be divided into 2 broad categories: red oaks and white oaks. The leaves of the red oaks have bristle-tipped lobes. The buds are usually pointed. The bark is dark gray, brown, or occasionally black. Most commonly it is rough, hard, and ridged rather than flaky, as found in the white oaks. The acorns tend to be bitter and mature in 2 seasons. The first year the acorns are small, growing to their full size in the second season. The leaves of the white oaks have rounded rather than bristle-tipped lobes. The buds are usually smaller and more globe-shaped. White oaks have light gray or brown-colored bark, and in most cases the bark is scaly or flaky. Their acorns are sweet and mature in 1 growing season. Hickory trees have compound leaves with an odd number of leaflets. The edge of a leaflet is finely toothed. The fruit is a round nut enclosed in a husk that usually splits into quarters. The nut meat can be either bitter or sweet. Twigs tend to be moderately stout. The bud at the end of the twig is larger than those buds found along the side of the twig. The bark on young trees tends to be smooth and gray. On older trees, the bark is variable depending upon the species. It can be shaggy or have interlacing ridges. Lastly, let's look at the elms. The leaves are simple with toothed edges. One characteristic feature of an elm leaf is its irregular base. The fruit is borne in clusters, with each seed surrounded by a papery wing. The twigs are slender and the buds are small. The bark can be gray or reddish-brown, furrowed with platy or scaly ridges.